Hello, everyone. Sorry, I ran late. I just came in from the hospital. My sister's daughter just had a baby. So,
Okay. Hello.
hello, how are you guys?
Everybody.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning there.
Yeah,
Here
good
is
morning.
evening.
It's 8 o'clock here in the morning
Yeah,
on
here is
Friday.
9. Yeah.
Good morning
Yeah.
po. Good
Morning.
evening.
Good morning.
Everyone, good
Good
morning,
evening.
Dr. Merlina.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
It's so funny. I changed the computer, my computer's password, and I forgot all about it. And I said, what was it? So I had to try like 3-5 different things and just now get in. But anyway. Okay, so did everybody have a good week so far?
Yeah, so
So
far. So
Yeah?
far, so good.
Very good.
I see
So
Judy.
far, so good.
Judy, you're the first, this is the first time of attending, right?
Yeah. Hi.
Welcome,
Good
welcome.
morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
I cannot see myself. I'm sorry.
You cannot see yourself. What happened?
I don't know. I'm trying to.
On the bottom left of your screen, you'll see.
Oh yeah, there. I can see it.
here.
I can see it now. Yeah.
All right.
Hi. Good
everybody.
morning.
Good morning. Tell us about you, Judy.
Okay, I'm Judy. Right now I'm teaching in 51 Talk.
In where?
51 Talk, yeah, an online English tutorial catering Chinese students,
Okay.
adult and children, yeah. And I've been with 51 Talk for like 4 years already.
Oh, okay. Do you have to get up really early to teach them?
I don't know. We have the same time zone.
Oh, you do. Okay. Well,
Yeah. So it's really okay. I start at 9 a.m. and
okay.
I finish at 10. Actually, I am going to log out at 9:30 because I have a
So you have a
class.
student. Yeah, that's fine. In America,
Yes.
I have some friends who are teaching Chinese students and they have to wake up at dawn in order to match the time. Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Mhm.
So you're enjoying that, huh?
Not so. It's
Not so.
just that it can put food on my table.
Right. Right. When you get interviewed here, they're going to ask you about to introduce yourself. So try to prepare a 2 to 3 minutes introduction about yourself. Make sure you include like what your degree was, number of years of experience, which you said what you're teaching. That's good. And then maybe end it with why do you want to come to the US, or why do you want to teach in Arkansas, or whatever state it is that gave you the interview. So you might want to get ready and then kind of prepare that and practice in front of someone or in front of the mirror. That way it'll be smooth and you get all the information in. Yeah, just a little tip. I've given this to everybody. Well, welcome. Okay, Mary Ann.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mary Ann, Mary Ann, you're the one that my niece had given me, right?
Yes, Doc.
Yes.
Yes.
My niece Kim.
Yeah, Kim. Yeah.
Does she say that her
sh-
daughter is her best friend or something?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are best friends. They are good friends, Mom.
Oh,
Doc.
Tell us about
Yeah, and
you.
then let me introduce myself. I am Mary Ann Rigonan, from Cebu City, Philippines, and I graduated Bachelor of Elementary Education from University of San Carlos, and then I have a 20 years experience in my teaching job. Yeah, and then after I passed the teachers board exam, I immediately have my teaching job in USC in San Carlos, and I taught there grade 5 students. And then for after 1 year, I applied for the public school that was in 1999. That was before it was Department of Education, Culture, and Sports. So recently, yeah, today is the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Okay, so therein, I was assigned in Iligan City, 1999. That is in Mindanao. So I taught there. So I applied there in Iligan City, and immediately I was assigned in grade 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I signed in grade 1, and then at first, I was really when I saw the environment there, because at first at first in my teaching job, I was in San Carlos. That was in private school.
Yeah.
So in the private school, the students there are very quiet. They are very disciplined. And then when I had my teaching job in the public school, I compare the environment in the private and the public school. So when my first assignment is in grade 1, and then when I was assigned there in grade 1, I was so shocked because my pupils were very noisy, and then they they're throwing stones in the in all the classrooms. So when I got there, so I was very shocked, and then I the guidance counselor told me that this is really now the setup in public school. So it's up to you and how you manage the pupils and how you. So this is the time that that I am going to have my skills and method and strategies on how to make my students discipline. So yeah, then and most of the my pupils there in grade 1 are selected. So because I was assigned in the last section, so the pupils there are um, they really need help, most especially in discipline, in the reading ability. So
Okay.
most of them are in the last section, so they are selected. So of course I because I was the new teacher, so I was given pupils who are very low,
Okay.
need help. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so that was my very first challenge job and my teaching job. So I make sure that my pupils, so when I get inside the room, so I let them sit down because I introduced myself. I am now your teacher, because at that time there was no teacher there at that time, because the teacher there in Mindanao are very limited at that time.
Okay.
So they are looking for more teachers there. So when I was assigned there are no teacher in that section. So when I applied there, so I was assigned there in the last section in grade 1. So that the pupils there are very they are very noisy. So
Right.
I told them that you keep quiet because I am now your teacher. So
Right.
I introduced myself to them that I am your teacher and I want to teach you because do you want to learn something? So they like it. Say yes, mom. We want to learn something. So I told them stories because they like to listen to stories. The
Right.
pupils like to they really like to listen stories. So I told them stories, and then every time I have my class, I have to have some energizer and then make them feel that they enjoy inside the classroom.
Okay.
So
Let me interrupt.
in
Let me interrupt you there, Marianne. Okay,
yes,
you are going to be given just 1 or 2 or 3 minutes to introduce yourself. So you cannot go on like that because you
okay,
have to say, my name is this and I teach
okay,
this. I graduated in this degree and I
mm-mm,
have had multiple experiences in different
yeah,
levels. And
okay,
yeah, I was able to teach in a private and
yeah,
public setting. So I was
mm-mm,
able to compare the difference in
later.
the students' behavior. And as a
Yes, yes,
result, I
ma'am.
was able to get some strategies, including storytelling and so
Yeah,
on. So you might want to
okay.
make it like more concise, because stories are good, but sometimes they only have 15 minutes for you. And so if
Okay,
you
yes, ma'am.
spend that time, doing the introduction, they're not going to get to ask you questions, which means that it's going to lessen the time, the chance of you getting hired. So just a little tip,
Yeah.
that's all, okay? But
Okay,
it's an
okay.
awesome
Thank you,
job.
ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, you
Okay,
did an
thank you
awesome
very
job.
much.
Yeah, stories are good.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
anyway, that's just a little tip, whenever before you get an interview, for example, if they will send you an email saying, hey, we want to schedule an interview with you, make sure that you email me because I will send you. In fact, I need to just send that. I had a Josephine Palikti that had practiced interview with me, and she did an awesome job of showing how the interview should be. I was impressed with her. So I asked her, can I share this with the other candidates? You know, they will be asking you about strategies. They'll be asking you about how do you handle students that are unmotivated, which is really another word for lazy, but we're not going to use the word lazy. So unmotivated students or students that misbehave. How do you handle angry parents? How do you do collaboration and teamwork? You know, so things like that, they're going to ask you about that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And the 5 things
Thank
that
you,
I told, the 5 things that I told everyone are the National Board Corporate Positions of Teaching. These are the 5 core things that you should remember when you're answering questions. Is your knowledge of students, which you said that. You said you knew that
Yes,
the students, you know, like storytelling, for example. Your knowledge of your content, which you mentioned strategies. So that's good. Okay, so knowledge of students, knowledge of content. The 3rd one will be assessment. So you assess. So you assess because you found out that they were, you know, they were different than the private school. And so you're assessing there, you're informally assessing. So you covered all 3 so far. And the last 2 are collaboration and reflection. So you reflected what will work, what will not work.
Yes.
You know, so you covered all that. You just need to make it a little bit more concise and clearer.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Thank
you, Doc.
Yeah,
okay. Thank you. Thank you very
so
much, Doc. Thank
all
you.
Right. Let's go to Janice. Janice, do you want to talk to us? De La Cruz.
Yes.
You're new too. Yes. What happened to the lighting, Janice?
Oh, one moment. Let me just fix my background.
Yeah, you look like it's pretty. Yeah, look like you're in the clouds or something.
I don't know where it's going to. Where I need to fix it.
Yeah, fix it because whenever you have an interview, you want the best light, your best light for you. And I always say, sometimes you can even go to like that under that video, on the bottom left of your screen, go to the virtual background, and go to green if you have to. Yeah, go to virtual background and put no, or there you go. That's a little better. Okay. And if you want to go to the virtual, let me see, choose virtual background, you can go to a green screen. It might be even, it might even, online. There you go. You want them to see your face because they are going to try to read nonverbal. 70% of our communication is nonverbal. So they're going to read your face when you answer and so on. So it's always good to show your beautiful face. Okay. All right. Tell us about you.
Okay, so I'm Janice De La Cruz. I'm a special education teacher. I've been teaching for 8 years. My bachelor's degree is BS Psychology, major in guidance and counseling. Okay. I also have 63 units of in master MA, major in special education. I had my 27 degree from 27 MA degrees from University of the Philippines, and the other
what do you say 27 degrees? You need to clarify that. You need to say you have a 27 hours instead of credits. They say hours. We have 27 hours of credits towards what degree? You don't say 27 degrees because that they wouldn't understand that. So 27 hours.
27 credit hours.
Very good. Toward what?
From University of the Philippines, MA in special education. Perfect. From University of the Philippines, and another 33 units of MA major in special education from National University.
You are over school girl.
Yes, because I wasn't able to finish my MA in UP.
Yeah.
So
well, I was impressed I look at your credential. I'm like, this girl like to go to school.
Yes, and I'm also planning to take continue my PhD after.
Oh, congratulations!
MA.
Congratulations! Yeah, because I went through that here in Arkansas State University, and it was not easy to juggle between working full time, managing my husband's business, and also having kids. And thankfully, I have
Yes.
my mom here. My mom lives 5 minutes from me. At that time, she lived with
Oh,
us for 14 years. So I could not have done it without my mom to get my bachelor's,
wow.
master's, specialist, and then doctorate, 4 degrees here in Arkansas State University. That would have been possible. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I want to encourage you and everybody else to continue your schooling. But at the same time, you need to figure out, okay, how much does it cost for me to do this? And if I'm about to graduate, if I'm about to retire, is it going to be worth it? Because in America, for example, it's so expensive that I
Mhm.
went and got student loan, which is a big no-no, and I finished paying for it, thankfully, but it was like a lot of money, like a few million pesos, in
Yes.
Cuban.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about it is in America, you start about 2 million pesos a year. So about $40,000 is 2 million is your pay.
Oh
And
my
so,
God.
but about
Yeah.
a third of that will be taxes and all the other stuff. But still, it's still going to be at least 5 to 10 times of your pay there. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But where in Arkansas is like parang probinsya dito. It's very, very much like a province. It's very country. So it's not a big city like you would think of New York and Florida and California, all those. They're not like that. They're like small, the buildings might not be skyscrapers, but there's a lot of buildings. But, I was looking for skyscrapers in 87 when I came here because I said, where are the skyscrapers? My husband said, no, it's only in the capital, which is Little
The
Rock.
city. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't
Mhm.
expect that. So if you feel like I'm not a person that do not like, I do not like country, do not teach in the rural area, you'll be miserable. And so if you go to www.schoolspring.com, you have a choice of countries and states. So pick the big states. If you like if you like the city, pick like Florida, California, New York. The disadvantage is that the standard of living is so darn high that, for example, a rent here could be $500, $600. And if you have a roommate, it could be $300. But in a big city, it might be 5 times that. You could be paying rent for $1,500, which takes a lot of your pay. They might pay a little bit more, but by the time you pay for the expensive everything, you're not going to make much. So actually the province, I'm biased, of course, because I'm from, I like the country. You can keep a lot of your money and be able to send more to the Philippines because the standard of living is much lower. And so things are cheaper. Like in Helena right now, they have this school that I'm helping right now, I'm a consultant with. There are 15 Filipinos here. There's 7 coming this year and there's 4 more. I do not know if they're gonna have visas because the J1 visa is pretty much gone. So H1B visa is the one that's available now and I'm helping them get it, but that takes between 2 to 6 months. So which means they're not gonna be here until the first of the year next year. And H1B visa starts about October 1. So if you start continuing school spring and applying, even though there's not J1 visa anymore, if you can convince a school to do H1B visa, which is really better because it's a path to green card. Like the J1 visa folks, they have 3 years, and then after that, they supposed to go back to the Philippines. So when you interview in embassy, you need to say, yes, I'm going back. You will fail if you say, I'm not going back, because you're supposed to go back for 2 years, teach them what you learned in the US, and then you can come back. But really, the reality is because we have a shortage of teachers in America right now, you will be given a waiver, for the 2-year physical presence in the Philippines. You don't have to go back, where you pay $160 or something, and then you continue your stay 2 more years. But after that, that's it. So you have to switch to another visa like H1B, because H1B after 6 years, you can get your green card. So that's why everybody really wants, I want H1B. But the thing with H1B, it takes forever. And there's a lot of things that the school had to pay. And the school had to pay. In J1, it could be a choice of you or the school paying for it. But the H1B, the school has to pay for it. The only thing that you could help pay is the premium processing, which is a $2,500 to make it fast. Like you have to know the result like within 1 week or 2 weeks, then you can pay for that. But that's a lot of money for us, $2,500, a lot of money. And so anyway, so that's just the reality here. So I feel bad that there's 4 people that got hired last. They are really scrambling to see if there's anybody that there's designated visa sponsors. If you Google this in quotation, designated visa sponsors in the US, and you have a list of this under teacher program, there's a lot of program, au pair and all the other program research. If you look at that, All of them. I mean, they called all of them and they said, no, visas are out. We're gone. We gave it away by June, July. And so, but the thing is, sometimes you get lucky by having, for example, they gave away the visa to someone, you spot to someone, and that someone got denied. So they got one open, you know, or two people got denied, they have two open. So sometimes you get lucky and ask later, it's like, oh yeah, we have two that became available because two of our teachers got denied. They didn't, you know, they answered wrong. For example, are you gonna go back? No, I'm not gonna go back. I like the US. You failed. You need to go back to the Philippines. You should answer that way. But anyhow, so we never know, you know, but just know that don't be discouraged if you're like, for example, you got hired, but then there's no visa. Because some school, like one school in Lee County, I think Abigail can talk about this, is actually, they're doing virtual. You're still hired, but you're doing virtual. So your students are doing online. And so anyway, this is a good segue for Abigail. Abigail, can you talk about at Lee County and how they're doing your virtual? Abby?
Hi, Doc. Good evening.
Yeah, tell us about you.
Yeah.
Tell us about your process. Like, where are you in the visa process and what you're doing about online and how do you feel about it?
Actually, Doc, I already got my visa and I'm waiting for my CFO speaker already.
Okay.
And then right now, actually, we started classes last Monday, July 25th.
That's really early.
And since I am still here in the Philippines, so the principal told us to have virtual classes so as not to affect our salary.
Mhm.
So when we get there and have our SSN, we can have our salary already.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You're making dollars already.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have,
However,
however, was it hard?
however, Dog, at first I find it so hard. You know, our time
Difference.
our time difference. It's 13 hours, right? So, but at 2 a.m., my eyes would close naturally. However, I managed to have it until last night. But then I asked permission from our principal. I said, Mr. Farr, I am asking you to please allow me to have take a leave of absence because I can't do the processes for my documents, Doc, because I have to sleep in the morning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at night I have to have my classes. Yeah, so I asked permission and he understood and he said, yes, you may. Just tell me when you're ready.
Okay, good. But
Yeah,
at least you got to
he's
see your
very
students.
good.
Yeah, at least you got to meet your students, right?
Yeah.
Are they mostly Black students? Because that country
Yeah.
is mostly Black. Yeah. Did you have any white
Yeah.
students at
Yes,
all?
Doc. I think I have two, and they're so big. Oh,
They're gonna be
they're
so
high school
tall.
students, Doc. Yeah. And I'm handling special education.
Okay.
I thought it's just special education, but I'll be handling math.
Okay.
I'll be handling ELA,
Oh my
math
gosh.
7 and 8, math 7, 8, and 9, ELA 7, 8, and 9.
But your number
was
should
so
be
shocked.
small. Yeah, your number should be small.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's a limit. Yeah. What's your number? How many students?
I actually have 1 to 5 students
Yeah.
per classes.
Yeah, that's not very
Yeah.
much. Yeah, because in the US we have
So-
a guideline of very small number. If you have to have an aide, if you're gonna have a bigger number, so that's good for you.
Yeah, so I said I can do it.
Yeah, you can do that number. Yeah, for sure.
I-
Special ed teachers, you got it made because it is a small number, right? Are they nice? Are they kind? Are they behave themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far,
Okay.
yes, Doc. Yeah. So
Good.
far,
And
they're
I'm
good.
glad that you got that
So
established with
hopefully-
them. Yeah.
Yes, Doc. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll be flying there maybe second week of August with Mom Leslie.
I will come
Hopefully.
Yay! I will come see you because I am I'm hired by Leslie's school plus Helena plus Brinkley. I'm hired as a consultant, so I get to see them every week. So actually would visit each one of them. I
Yeah.
would do, like in Helena, I would go in the morning with elementary and in the afternoon I would go high school. And I would just at first I would observe a lot. I would take notes and I learned a lot about you. And then later on, I would determine, because I would use the same form as the principal is using, because I was a former principal. I would use the form and I would look at your grows and glows. So what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses that I need to help you with? What I found from last year
Yes.
is that there's a lot of weaknesses on classroom management. because we're so nice. You can be nice at the same time. You have to be firm. You have to, you cannot just say, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write you up. I'm going to send you to office and you don't do it. Or I'm going to call your parents and you don't do it. They're just going to abuse you. They're not going to behave because you're too nice and you're push over, they call that. They said, that class is so easy. I've actually seen this where I would observe a Black teacher because I was teaching writing to the other teachers in LA. And that's my specialty is writing. And so I would have the same kind of students. I would follow these students to the Filipino teacher. And these students are like night and day. They were behaving themselves in this last room that I was in. And when they go to the Filipino classroom, they were all over the place like crazy. They were like a bunch of animals in a jungle. And it's because they thought the Filipino teacher was so nice. And so I had to talk to this teacher and I'm like, these students were really behaving themselves in the other classroom. So obviously they think that you can be pushed. So don't do that. And so what I'm really pushing, I will have a orientation with everybody here. There's about close to 30 people in the area that are Filipinos, but in one school only was 15. And like in Leslie with LY school, there's 4. So that's 19 right there. And I work with them, plus the 2 from Barton, 21. So I work with a school with 21 total teachers. And the others, like Lee County, I don't have a contract with them, but they have hired a Filipino. They have hired somebody that's in charge of you guys. I don't know if it's Filipino, I don't know, but they hired someone specifically to help with the international teachers. Yeah, if you are not, please mute your microphone, please. Thank you. Ray, Omison, can you please mute your microphone, please, Miss Omison? Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna mute everybody then. Okay, so Abby, I'm so glad that you had, it sounds like a successful week, right? You feel like you have a successful week? Yeah, Abby, yeah, you can turn yours on. Yeah, so that's good. So you're not afraid anymore, you're not scared anymore of coming because you kind of know your students now, maybe? It's gonna be a challenge at first. I mean, always.
Hi, Jerry.
Yeah, but the special ed though, I think they are almost like I mean, most of them, their maturity level is not as the same as their age sometimes. So you can actually, you can actually bribe them or do something like that, what we do with our kids, but some of them that are not special ed, you can't do that. Although they love Copico candy. I found it in Maria's classroom, high school, ELA, I would bring Copico candy and I would say, you have to behave yourself. You had to do this in order to earn this Copico candy. I mean, they were like, I had candy, coffee candy or cappuccino candy. They were like, they would work anything for it. So I gave Maria 2 or 3 bags of it and she was using it. But you can, especially high school, you can bribe them because they get hungry. But you have to ask your principal though, make sure it's okay, because some schools in Arkansas, when I was teaching for 15 years and I was administrator for the other 15. And so when I was a teacher, we were told that you cannot give candies out other than 1 time a month, because they had 9 times only in the whole year that you can give, or parties or candies, because we had a problem in Arkansas where more than half of our students were overweight. They call them obese, actually. And so at that time, they were trying to look for strategies in order to help our kids not become too big. And so that's why my principal back then was so strict. Like, if you're going to do a party, you have to just do it once a month, But then I was having a luncheon in the classroom every Friday, and the parents are, parents want to bring, parents want to bring dessert. Just a minute. If we run out, for those that are new, come back in using the same link, because we will do our 2nd video or 3rd video later. But anyway, just remember you can come back in, okay? But anyway, so what happens is that in the classroom, they cannot bring homemade goods. Like, they cannot make, like chocolate cake or brownies in their house and bring it to the school, because it has to be store-bought. You cannot have them bring, like if somebody had a birthday and they bring their own cake that they made at home, that is not allowed. Okay, so things like that, little basic things. If you're in doubt, ask your either your partner. You always will be assigned like a mentor, like a go-to person that's partner with you that know the rules. You can ask them or your team leader in your grade. If not, you ask your principal. You know, whoever picked you up in the airport, you'll have a bonding with them. And I'm trying to encourage the principals to be the one to pick you up. So you have that bonding between you and the principal. Like Helena, you know, they said that, Merlina, can you pick them up? And I said, I don't mind meeting them later, but I really would like the principals to, excuse me, to meet them, because I want them to get to know each other. Because, you know, when we get busy at school, we are not going to have that time or bonding time. But, you know, the airport drive is nearly 2 hours. You know, so that's a long time that you get to visit and get to know each other. Like Maria was, I use Maria a lot because she was my first one that I brought here. Like she was just here with me, and she was, she said that she really got to know her superintendent. The superintendent pretty much kind of adopted her. Like she would let her like use her, you know, the superintendent's house for her washer and dryer, you know, use so that she wouldn't have to go to the laundromat by herself. And, you know, she stayed here for 9 days plus 5 days, I think about 2 weeks with me this summer. And I took her places, you know, I'll post a bunch of things later on our website. But anyway, so I will want to do that with you guys. When you come, I'd like to, you know, I can only fit 4 people in my car because there's 5 total, but, you know, kind of take turns come in and kind of show you how the locals live, because you might not get that opportunity with the other, but I'll bring you, I'll make sure you see how it is here in the other side. I live 4 hours away from where you're going to teach. But I drive there every week. It's okay. All right. So I'm so proud that you're able to teach your students already. I'm going to move on to Leslie with an LY, because there's a Leslie with an IE that's already coming too. So LY, Interior, tell us about you, where you are now on your process. You passed your visa interview already, right? Yes. You have your flight. Did you send me your flight itinerary?
I'm still going to have my visa on August 12th.
Okay. And she's gonna work with Maria. And so did Dr. Poole already tell you that you make sure that you tell her the itinerary, because she said she will be meeting you. Okay. And that's when she gets to know you. She's really awesome. You're really lucky to have a superintendent like her. She's very smart. And she has we kind of similar. We have our national board certification, which is only, I think 5 to 10% of Arkansas teachers. There are 30,000 Arkansas teachers, and there's only maybe 1,500 to 2,000 that have their national board certification. And she and I, plus my sister, we have our national board, you know, certification, which is another $10,000 extra money. So later on, when you have taught 3 years, you can apply for that. And maybe when you have your green card. And I'm helping her get your H-1B visa, because Maria said, oh, can you help us? And yeah, I'm helping her. I'm sending her forms and links and all that. So hopefully, yeah, she'll do it. She's very supportive of Filipinos. And she's also looking for a place for you to stay. Maria's got an apartment right across the road from the school. So I was asking her yesterday, Dr. Poole yesterday, I said, do you know if there's any vacancy across the road so that they don't have to like drive to school? They can just walk to school. Yeah. And she said, well, I'm looking, I'm talking to the landlord, see if they have anything open. Maria thinks there might be. So we'll see. But she said that there was somebody that said there's a house there also that's open. So you never know. Okay. All right. So do you have anything to share with anybody that's new? There's a bunch of people that are new here. Do you have anything to share, Leslie, on your process? Things you learned?
What I wanted to share is during the interview yourself, just be yourself during the interview, and then one thing that you should share is if you have coaching experience
or athletic experiences.
That's one thing that the principals look for, because they're very eager for us to share our coaching experiences.
Right. So even if you're not very good point there, because even if you're not been a coach, but you may have played, like for example, you say I played chess and I would like to be able to help students have a chess club, or I played badminton and you don't have badminton, I would love to form a badminton team, things like that, right? Because it shows that you go above and beyond, that you do not, because a bunch of the coaches here in most schools, they actually give you extra money if you coach. They give you extra so many hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. I don't know what the amount is depending on the school. They will give you extra money because that is done after school. So it's like your extracurricular activity. And so it's good. It's a good thing for you to be like your collaboration part, because you are actually, going to see the parents and the community when you play. That's my favorite, is the not badminton, but the volleyball. If you know volleyball, volleyball is very popular here. So if you know volleyball, make sure you mention that I played volleyball, or I would love to help coach volleyball. I would mention earlier that you may not want to coach by yourself first. You might want to have a help at first. That way you get to know the rules in America. And then later you say, okay, I can do it now. They will provide you with an assistant at first, or if they want you to be the main one, they'll provide an assistant, or you can offer that, can I be the assistant first in order for you to learn from someone? They'll do that. They'll work with you. So what sport did you say about you, Leslie?
In my case, Dr. Pool is very happy to know that I am a coach in volleyball.
Ooh.
So she said, "Oh, you should start a volleyball team in our school."
I think you got your job because they don't have one. Very good. See, and did you get that from our Zoom meeting that we mentioned the sharing of that? Did you pick that up? Yes. I told them, I said, well, you need to share that, because that's something extra that you can do. I'm so proud of you for listening. She's very excited about meeting you. She said, I had a good hire, Merlina. I'm excited to see these three that are coming in. So, okay. So Michael, you're up next. Michael is Mike has got two schools that are kind of after him.
Yes, Doc. Good. I'm still waiting.
Yeah. Well, did you ever hear from
every day? Every day when I woke up every morning, I'm always checking my email.
Well, Miss Mills, remember, she was asking about your credential. And
Yes,
I asked her and I said, well, has he been approved? And she said, well, it's up in the air because we can't find any visas. The three people, you're the fourth one. The three people, they can't even, the two science teachers and one social studies, and they cannot even bring them here because of visa availability. So I'm working on H-1B. So if they approve that H-1B, you'll be one of those that will get H-1B.
Wow, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Because every day, it seems that I will have now a heart attack, because every time I receive an email,
So Michael, did you get interviewed by Clarendon, Dr. Ellis, and Bobby? Did you get interviewed?
Yes, Doc.
Okay.
I remember the two schools.
They're the other ones that want you. So both schools that you must have done good in your interview, because both schools want you to work for them.
Thank you very much.
Which means you're gonna have a choice. We're gonna have a choice of which one you want. But I know that Miss Ellis and Dr. Ellis and Miss Weaver was talking to me about you. So I said, but they're really looking for a visa. They said that. So I suggested, I said, well, it's his computer, he can do it from virtual. Can you work with him virtually? I suggested that.
Yes.
That maybe you can do virtual with your students, and since you're going to be doing computers. So we'll see. And they said they're going to look into it and see what permission.
Hopefully, Doc. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I'm always sending message to those teachers who are already there. I'm already included in their GC, and I'm always updated with what they are doing. Especially, Doc, is that